Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I've ever got ready so fast in my life. What the hell is going on in crypto? The sell button doesn't work on Bitcoin. It doesn't work. This thing is just not stopping. I put a post earlier on my Instagram. I was like, could Bitcoin go to 100K by Thursday? And people were like, no. We're at 86, man. Like, what is going on with an actual high of, wait a second, 7,089 traders have been liquidated. This is where the truth's coming out. Bitcoin is showing here, $16.83 million worth of traders liquidations have been hit in the past hour. And with that, the totals are Bitcoin at 3.62 million and Ethereum 2.54 million. Dogecoin is up there. Pepe's up there. Luckily for some people, there's no XRP short liquidations because nobody's shorting it because nobody's longing it because it doesn't go nowhere. Anyways, welcome to tonight's live. It is a bit of an early one because I just wanted to get in on the action and keep you guys aligned with what's going on. It's starting to get a little bit fishy, but nonetheless, okay, this is all part and parcel, everyone reacting to what's going on with the hype in crypto. What news has come out to give us the idea that Bitcoin should be going higher, other than Trump's endorsement, never sell your Bitcoin, and then, of course, the rally to the upside, people's optimism about it, because there's nothing. We know miners are selling, so that's happy days, and we only know that people are selling because people are buying. So in tonight's live stream, I'm just going to give you a breakdown on what's going on, what can we expect, because we do have CPI data coming out. And today, the Treasury cash markets are closed. That's important because we're not getting the true amount of liquidity coming into the marketplace. So in essence, what's going on is traders are like, you know what? We ain't got nothing to go into in terms of low risk. Let's just put the risk on the table and let's just long everything. Well, it is the LFG kind of flavor, but let's just calm down for like 2 minutes. Now, let's not calm down, guys. If you are new to the live, welcome. My name is Tino, and we like to be what I like to think where, you remember back in the day when we were like Mr. Exclusive, when Bitcoin would pump, we'd be going live. I mean, this is a really good time to be live and just get people aligned with what to expect, because this is pure price discovery. It's Bitcoin's walking through the Nevada desert and we're like, what's next? What's next? Nobody knows. But I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can manage your expectations on this, because a lot of people are like, sure, should I go live? Should I go long? Should I go live? Should I go long now? What should I do with my profits? How many of you in profits right now? And you're all asking yourself, should you actually retain those profits or do something about it? So let's get with the program, ladies and gentlemen, and find out what's been going on. So rotation in the stock market. Yep, we know big tech is getting smacked. Just to back that up, back that story up a little bit, we just quickly go over to our dearly beloved Nvidia. Is down 1.61% for the day, but of course the treasury markets aren't really operating to their full capacity, but they've given us a little bit of a clue as to what's going to happen soon. Okay, so look at these red vector candles on the 5-minute time frame for Nvidia, 145.25 all the way to 148. I'm expecting them to clear that range, and it's just something that's going to happen. Remember, when you see red vector candles coming into play at the highs of a move, expect them to go back into those points, because that is an aggressive open to the downside. They've now managed to find their feet. So there's naturally going to be some guys stepping in, buying up Nvidia right now, and they're going to start offering out Nvidia to the upside. Okay. Now, with that being said, quickly going over to the NASDAQ and the S&P to understand, like NASDAQ itself has made a drop to the downside, hasn't quite made a recovery back up, but nonetheless, we're going to be expecting NASDAQ to try and reattempt those highs. But something came through today which made sense. Looking at it, has got me thinking, okay, that explains why the euro and the dollar have been making significant moves. And this is important if it actually does come into fruition, which is why I say to you all, be mindful, okay? There could be more volatility ahead. Check this out. So earlier on X, where is my X? Check this out, courtesy of Mike Investing. Now, this guy really does put on some scary stuff, but look at this. Says here that the euro swap cash basis has just went to negative for the very first time since 1999. And whenever this goes negative, it means that we are experiencing liquidity issues, economic uncertainty, and overall major economic problems. The bubble is about to pop. Now, hear me out. Hear me out before you start going all negative Nancy on me. Oh, he's bearish. This is good news. I've said this before. You need a catastrophic event to change people's minds about fiat. We know that markets crash. That's the truth, all right? We know they recover. But will the market go back to what they normally know when there is a crash? Okay? The bonds are going to crash, but the bonds will also come back up because investors only know bonds. They will always go into the US bonds. But this is where Bitcoin can actually shine. This is where Bitcoin could end up becoming the parabolic move that everybody's looking for. Bitcoin is trading macros, nothing to do with on-chain analytics. And you know what? Challenge me all you want. Miners position index, yeah, it's going up. If we just quickly go over and have a look at this story for a second. Look at the Coinbase Premium Index. This will help you make sense of some stuff. Check this out. So the Coinbase Premium Index, when I look at it in the opposite way. When it's negative, it says that they're selling Bitcoin. Nope, they're buying it. It's just telling you what retail traders are doing. And we know that to be the case. When it's negative, it tells you that retail investors are using Coinbase to effectively buy Bitcoin. Retail, all right? When it's negative, they're selling it, but they can't sell it. No one's buying it from them. And that principle is solidified with this story right here. The bids are wetting the bed. They're missing out on the move. They've cleared the ranges. All that liquidity at 83, gone. Chow, chow. They've swept it all up. But more guys are coming in. Look at these offers right now. 1 million at the top side of 90K. 8 million at 90K as well. Go down below. We've got what? 4.64 million at 88,888.80. What an amount. Why would you be going? What a guy placing that order. That's how you know that guy is. Yeah, anyways. So we've got this 15 million again. So you know what? I'm seeing this 15 million reoccur. Okay. So that tells me that could be part of a big iceberg order. That could be part of a massive order that's been placed in Bitcoin and slowly selling it as it's marking up and setting price to effectively get triggered, or in essence, get a sell order on Bitcoin as it hits a significant point. Now, going back into this story right here is a major problem. Why? Because there are two forms of liquidity that can be provided in the marketplace. All right. Now, stick with me on this one. Otherwise, you might get lost with this, but I'm going to break it down for you so that you understand it. There are two players in the markets. We understand them to be banks, and we also understand them to be non-banks. Who are non-banks? Hedge fund managers, institutional investors, private equity firms. And these guys all come to exchanges, and what they do is they start throwing money at each other. How much have you got? How much have you got? I've got this flavor. I've got that flavor. How many you got? 100 million at this price? Yeah. 100 million at that price? 2 billion? Yep. That's all they're doing. Okay. Now, with regards to this, whenever it goes negative, it means that we're experiencing liquidity issues. The only true aspect of liquidity being a problem is if the yields spread out. Are we seeing that? Check this out. The only way for you to really understand the yields is if we look at this yields, all right? And we look at the yields and the spread. Let's just look at it from... Let's look at it from this bond. Yeah, not against those guys. Let's just go back a second. Hold on a second. Right, where is it? Here we go. We could do it that way, but let's just do 10-year, 2-year. Okay. 10-year, 2-year. No. 10-year, 2-year. There we go. Wow, what are you doing, bro? Like, this is unbelievable. Just work. Okay. Here we go. This is what we want. So look at this. In front of it, I don't even know if you can see it clearly. Oh, it hasn't got it. Never mind. Okay. Actually, tell a lie. There we go. There's the spread. That's the chart. Sorry. That's the chart we're looking for. Here we go. Look at this. You see this down here. All right. So let me just increase this to help you understand this story. All right. Right. So whenever the spreads widen against the 2-year and the 10-year, so you can see here, 10-year bond yield, 2-year bond yield. Whenever there is a spread in between them, okay, it means there's liquidity issues, right? There's liquidity issues. What does that mean? It means that banks and non-banks, banks are obligated to make sure that there is continuous liquidity, all right? That they're transacting. So when there is a buyer, there has to be a seller, and banks against banks were going to be doing that, okay? The problem is there is a heavy reliance on non-bank participants. You might know them as market makers, okay? So when you've got market makers providing liquidity to various exchanges, and these exchanges are effectively giving us this reading of where the bonds are at, or where the CME, yep, where's the bonds at, where's the yields for the 2-year, the 10-year, because ultimately the yields are contracts that can be traded. All right. And if you exo charts, guys, you'll see it. Pull up exo charts and you'll see contracts being actively traded on the yield. Okay. If there is a spread, there's a problem with liquidity. Now, I did this write-up on, it was back in, 27th of October. I did this write-up to help guys understand. Okay. This is for the Platinum members, to help them understand what scenarios did we have before each market crash. All right. So before every market crash, the idea was that the spreads were tight, so there was no liquidity issues. What have we got now? We'll go back to it. The spreads are tight. Spreads are tight, which means that liquidity is not a problem. Now, non-banks like market makers, private equity firms, hedge fund managers, they don't have to supply the liquidity when they don't want to. They don't have to. They're not obligated to do it. They supply the liquidity, but if they think, you know what, hold on a second, we've got a problem here. I'm not going to be exposing myself. Forget it. They will cut off liquidity. And then that's when you get the spread widening. All right. To simplify it for you all, it's this instance when you've got so much debt in the US, the tariffs from Trump, what's the impact is that going to be? All right. Then you've got this story about the euro taking a shoe bag to the downside. I didn't expect that to happen today. I was projecting euro to make a move up today, okay? I expected euro to make a little bit of a reversal. Bang, that's something that's happened in the market with the euro. It's just took a slump to the downside, okay? Today, even with your oil, we expected oil to go down. Oil just took a shoe bag to the downside. Sweep lower, happy days. Bitcoin came through. Our projections with Bitcoin came through. And today, a lot of the guys in the Discord were feeling very challenged about this range right here. We're having a conversation, and one guy was like, well, what does it mean about this right now? Got a red vector candle inside of this range. This was trading the block. And I said to the guys, before the New York Live ended, straight after the New York Live ended, right? I gave them a video and I said to them, look, you want vector candles to come into play to suggest that the history of the block is going to play out again. This is the block here. The market's memory gets triggered. The idea is that you want to see Bitcoin shoot up. I was looking for 83 today. We got more than that. Go into Bitcoin. Look at this image here. Look at this zone. There's a vector block. Go back into Bitcoin. 5-minute time frame. What do you have? What's the one thing I keep saying about the vector blocks? What are they breaking out on? Vectors. There's the vector candle block. This one right here. Go back into that. Where's the image? That's the vector candle block. Look at the support that they're getting from the block. The market's memory's coming into play. And then that green vector candle shift out. Triggers the collection of blocks right there. Up she goes. Okay? Now, you're never going to get an instance in the chart where it will always do it. But trading's about probabilities. How likely? How likely is X going to happen? How likely is this going to happen? Okay? When you align yourself with probabilities that you can manage in terms of how much money am I prepared to lose on this move? Well, you got this block right here, which we marked off. They came and tested that. And if you had simply gone to the chart and said, okay, by Tino's setup per se, if they do not break beyond this red vector candle block and they stay within this block region right here, I'm going to set my exit outside of the block zone, for example, or I'm going to set it outside of 81,042. If Bitcoin doesn't hit 81,042, I know or I assume that they could end up trying to clear out the range and go even higher. Did they go to 81,000? No, they went to 81,501. So you were still in line with it all. And that's what you got to do. You got to sometimes take the risk because you ain't going to get no information if the trade isn't taken. You need the feedback from the trade. Okay, cool. We had the same logic for Ethereum. Same logic for Ethereum to try and make the move to the upside. Block movement to the upside. Happy days over there. Go quickly have a look at ETH. See what she's saying. Ethereum made the move. Nice flavorsome move to the upside. And one that's lagging behind is Solana. That tells me Solana's going to pull a dirty move later tonight. I genuinely believe Solana is going to pull a move tonight. I really do believe it because this is what happens. Bitcoin moves, Ethereum moves, Solana holds. Then what happens? Solana moves, Bitcoin holds, Ethereum holds. I think there's this thing going off between Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, where they're actually moving money between the three assets. Forget XRP. Park the idea of the altcoin season. I think that's what you got. You've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and in all, I mean, some of you might actually challenge me on this, but let's make the assumption that when Solana makes a move, it's telling you about an ecosystem that's being actively traded, meme coins, and don't get it twisted, a lot of volume hits the meme coins, guys. And it's all about injection, fast injection of cash. They pump a coin, bang, 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 bang. It's doing good. Solana's making a move. Everyone wants to quickly buy the coin and then shove it into the asset and start hoping that they turn their $10 of this meme coin into multi-million-dollar purchase or gains or whatever. Just monitor three assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, all right? Because it's clear as day that there's something going off. There are people playing these three assets. Anything else outside of that? For me, it's, as I said before, Bitcoin, anything outside of Bitcoin is a meme coin. Okay. Now, question I've got for you all. Got what? What was that? Buy gold now, Bitcoin killing all the bears. Tino went, AK, I'm still waiting. Well, you would be that dude that asks Bitcoin 8K and you're still waiting. Only you would be that guy. Well, if you just put a 0 after the 8, and we're already at 80K. So, yeah. Someone found a video on my live stream from back in the day. Go look at it, right? And he said that you said a year ago that Bitcoin would get to 80K. What a joke. It actually happened. I can't believe it. That actually happened. What a joke. But forget that. That's irrelevant for me. What's relevant is what's going on right now. So, Bitcoin. How many of you are in positions that are long right now? How many of you are trying to run shorts? Please be honest now. How many of you are trying to run shorts in this story? Okay, because it's very, very important that we pay attention to what's going on here with this story right here. All right. Remember, non-banks are not obligated to keep supplying liquidity. And as it stands right now, the spreads are tight. Okay. And if the bubble is going to burst, because it's very bubble-like, it's very bubble-worthy. Okay. Everything is up. And by the laws of what's going on, by the principle of bull market, bear market, it doesn't make sense. We are improving the odds of going into a recession massively. All right. It's not making sense to Wall Street. But like I said before, the market doesn't care. And that is evident. Remember when I said to you all that I want to see the smart money, dumb money chart get to an extreme? Ladies and gentlemen, you are at that extreme right now. That was then suggestive that we were still expecting a bit of a move to the upside. The S&P is not too far away from its target of 6,100. All the analysts out there have been saying that the S&P has got the rally attempt to get to 6,100. It's not too far away from 6,100, ladies and gentlemen. What happens when that happens? They're going to reevaluate everything and change their price targets again and think that by doing so, it's going to naturally encourage retail to step in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go back into it all. The smart money, dumb money chart rarely spends a lot of time in these price extremes because dumb money right now is optimistic and smart money has been selling quite significantly in this rally to the upside. The bonds are down aggressively. Okay. The US cannot sustain paying this amount of money. 4.3% on the 2-year. On the 10-year itself, you've got 4.3%. No. It's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. Okay. This is a problem. The spread between the 10-year and the 2-year, all right? It's starting to widen. 4.3% on the 2-year. The 10-year is at 4.34%, okay? If the 2-year continues to mark up, there's a change in the way investors are seeing the future. That means they're plowing into 2-year bonds and wanting a payment sooner rather than later. That means not locking up more money for the US government to put to work. The interest rates are coming down on the dollar right now. So it's not going to be something that's going to be encouraging foreign investors to get involved in. Right now, China and Japan are winning. Why? Because the yields are marking up. That's costing the US more money to pay that obligation. This is good news for Bitcoin, like I said. And you know what? I hope it's not the case, guys. But I hope that there is a massive well, listen, there will be a massive market crash. I'm saying that sincerely. There will be a massive market crash because the markets do two things. They expand and contract. We've been economically expanding for a long time. And going by the logic of this story that I put here, each of the market crashes, the spreads were relatively tight. There was complacency in the marketplace. Everyone was just buying and they didn't give a damn about what was going on. And before every single crash, that was the case. There's complacency all over the spot, guys. And that's the problem that we've got. And for every market crash, look what happened to Japan back in the day. I think it was in 74, was it? No, in 1990, with the crash of Japan, what happened there? Zombie companies. And that's companies that are effectively operating, okay? But they're struggling to make ends meet. And there was an influx of zombie companies that had effectively gone to the pan. They all went bankrupt and they all messed up and they'd all lost their money because there was too many companies out there operating, trying to make ends meet, and it just wasn't happening. And the way that the interest rates were and the way that economies were naturally forced those companies to go in the bin, all right? That was one instance. But what was going on at that point? The spreads and the yields were tight. Complacency was happening across the board. Back in 2007, 2008, the same story. Complacency happening across the board. The bond massacre of 1994, what was going on there? The spreads of the bonds and the yields were tight. Complacency yet again. And what have we got now? We've got complacency all over the spot. But then we didn't have Bitcoin. Now we do. So what does that mean? I need a market crash to happen to get everyone in Wall Street to think twice about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to end up becoming too expensive for Wall Street, and they're going to wet the bed and think, we've got to get in because now there's a supply that's being eaten up alive. Going over into the actual, I told you guys, $60 for the ETF. We're only nearly $11 away from it, guys. $11 away for the ETF turning to $60. And I know you heard me say that. All right. So if you guys were going to be picking up Bitcoin, $26 when it came out, $60 on the ETF, damn, that thing's going to keep going. Logic would say, but we've got a lot of exhaustive gaps right now, but this is all about them buying it. And if they're buying it, then that's good news. But there's also participants that are selling it. And that's the issue that we've got. Right now, going into the Coinbase Premium Index, it's showing you a lot of people are buying Bitcoin, but they're selling it. We know they are selling it. It's retail that's fueling this move. And market makers will not ever hesitate to keep supplying the liquidity. They won't hesitate. Open interest is through the flipping roof right now, okay? They are taking up everything. They're going all in. X is losing their minds on missing out on Bitcoin getting to 100K. Guys, we are only 15K away from Bitcoin hitting 100K, just under. All you need is, look, let's just work it out right now. How much have we got? 15% left, okay? Today's Bitcoin price has gone up 7.5. So it's already achieved half of that move in principle, okay? You've got CPI data coming out this week. More of a reason for Bitcoin to keep going up. If the CPI data comes in and shows that inflation is sticky, investors must be losing their minds on fear and think, you know what, forget that, get into Bitcoin. But we can't force everyone into cryptocurrency, and that's the truth. So yeah, that's what I've got to say to you all. Now, if all of you are now looking at the charts thinking, oh my God, Bitcoin, all that madness, what you've got to be careful of is you've got to use, on the 1 hour time frame, I would strongly recommend that you all pay attention to the vector candlesticks on as price is going up, because look at the closes. You've got a strong close right here on a normal candlestick. You've got a blue vector candle suggesting a stop in volume. Let me just double click this down here. No, I haven't got the volume. No, never mind. Out of all these candlesticks that have marked Bitcoin's price up, you've only got one, two. I'm not including this one because this was the breakout one, but 1, 2 candlesticks that have shown commitment to mark price higher, okay? When you've got price discovery, it does get a little bit exciting, but you need to go down to smaller time frames and monitor how price consolidates between ranges. For the holders right now, you've got to say to yourself, what are you planning on doing? How many of you holders, right? Let's be honest now, okay? Tino, when do whales rotate to altcoins? Brother, listen, this thing's nearly going to 100K. I ain't getting rid of my 100K Bitcoin to go into an altcoin. You mad? I think we're out. I'm joking, by the way, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's actually wild that anyone would sell Bitcoin to put it into an altcoin. You've been waiting how long for this price point for you to go in and be like, let's just chuck it into XRP? Please. Like, come on. Yeah? Doesn't make sense. This altcoin Bitcoin season thing, for me, it's like we've witnessed it happen several times, but that was when crypto was crypto. Now it's crypto in Wall Street, and Wall Street ain't getting rid of it. I'm telling you now, they ain't going to be selling their ETF if they're seeing that retail's fueling this move to the upside. You know? I think if Bitcoin's just going to keep going, so should the altcoins. And that's what's going to encourage market caps to increase across the board. We don't want the same money going from Bitcoin to altcoins. How is the market cap going to ever expand? How is price discovery across the board going to ever expand if it's the same flipping market cap taken from Bitcoin, $1 billion from Bitcoin to go and plant it into BNB or into Ethereum or into ICP or into other altcoins, Jasmine or Casper? Doesn't make sense. How does crypto evolve if the same market cap's going from one coin to the next? We want more liquidity, so we need a runner. And that's your runner right there. Because people will look at it and be like, that's too expensive. What other altcoins could there be? Oh, let's get this coin. It's 70 cents. How about I get XRP? It won't go nowhere. And I feel sorry for all the people that buy XRP and have no idea about what it is. All right. And they just see, oh, it's relatively cheap. I'll get myself some XRP. And it ends up staying in the same place for however long. Don't make that mistake. I made that mistake. And I know a lot of you have made that mistake. And I stand up gladly with pride and say that that coin is an absolute waste of time. But I can say that because I hold the coin. Never mind. Any questions? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any likes? 2,000 likes. 400 likes, actually. That's what we've got. Would you draw some lines on Shiba? Draw some lines, bro. We're not here for lines. In your opinion, what's going to happen with CPI? Is bad data probable? Good question. Let's look at it like this. Inflation data should be coming down, okay? But as Jerome Powell said, we need data. We need data. He had to look at it to say that he needed data, all right? We know you need data, all right? But when we look at the data, actually, we've got CPI coming in at 2.6% year on year. That's what they're expecting. I bet you, if you guys pay attention to this, Platinum members, we are going to be looking for this. But I bet you the figures are going to change. I bet they change the figures as we get closer and closer towards the actual data. But what they're really looking for is the core price index. Okay? If the core CPI comes in higher than what they expected, and if it comes in flat, then okay, that means at 0.3%, that's fine. But if the core price index does come in higher, and then the inflation just sticks at 2.6, because look, they're expecting it to come up. So let's just do a little bit of work here. Stock market all-time highs. Bitcoin at all-time highs. Ethereum, no all-time highs. XRP, never mind. Assets across the board, all-time highs. Who the hell is buying? Honestly, who's buying? Because when you're looking at the order flow on NVIDIA and you see 800,000 shares at 150 that want to be sold, these cats are trying to get their money out. When's the last thing that Warren Buffett bought? Go on, tell me. That guy's sat in $400 billion worth of cash. He's got time to wait. He can chuck that in an interest account and just earn interest. He ain't got to worry about anything. He's preparing for something because as a value investor, he understands that the stock market is very overvalued. But we'll see articles like this from Bloomberg. Everything's all pumped up again. There you go. Stocks rotation hits big tech, small caps rally. And when small caps are starting to rally, it means that they're taking money out of the big boys and trying to go into the small boys to pump them up a little bit. But how long will this Trump win sustain itself for? That's the thing. And that's what you're trading right now. You're trading the Trump win. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just be honest, man. I mean, something wild would have to happen for Bitcoin to continue with this move. We would have to have one more donkey candle, all right? A donkey candle, right? To then send Bitcoin to 100K. Because by the principle of whole and half numbers, my days, even the 88K is a nice spot. But let's just look at the liquidity right now. Look at this, 12,029 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming at 76 million, where in Bitcoin liquidations, 43 of those million of those liquidations came from Bitcoin, 9 million from Ethereum. ADA liquidations, 828,000. Guys, people are getting shaken out like no tomorrow. Wait there. 20 million to be sold at 100K, man. Do you know what? I think this is where you're going to get the sharp reversals, all right? All the major Bitcoin holders that have been holding from the old legacy holders, all right? They're going to be looking at their portfolios and it's just going to be printing. I think they're all going to wet the bed because they'll be like, well, I've got nearly 2,000 of these coins. I am sat on so much right now. I don't even need to sell 7 of those coins and I'm laughing, okay? You know, I've got some chump change behind me. Happy days. And I've still got another 1,900 and whatever it is, okay? You're going to start seeing a lot of dormant wallets waking up. And that's what is going to then start getting people thinking, all right, maybe Bitcoin could be coming down. But that's not what's happening right now, man. This rally to the upside is being fueled by retail missing out on Bitcoin getting to 100K. I really think that's the case. You know? I wasn't bearish at 60K, you donut. I was saying to you, 60K is the new 20K. Man. You guys, where we at? Come on. Bitcoin, 87K. Here we go. $87,000, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. A78, man, you can kiss. Do traditional markets have short-long ratio? Could we see a short squeeze? Look, the money that is being used to trade this move to the upside, open interest, this is effectively a short squeeze. You can have a short squeeze from 16K. That's the jokes. And it looks like a massive short squeeze. And that's what you've got going off right now. People are in denial about Bitcoin, and that's the truth. Well, what's going on here? The Living Monk, what's good? Okay. I've seen these signs before. What are these emojis coming in? I've seen them before. You have the patience of a saint. TM sure makes a lot of sense. A week ago, they said 80% of the ETF is retail. Institutions haven't even started. All right, listen. With regards to the ETF itself, okay? Well, let's put it into perspective. In 2025, only 7.5% of the world would have adopted cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has already surpassed the gold's ETF. All right, there's flavor right now in Bitcoin. There's a lot of flavor, but there will be profit-taking opportunities. Now, something that I do want to say to you all: you've heard me talk about the 5 and 13 EMA for the holders. Okay. Bitcoin's gone from that. But be very careful, especially with how this candlestick's going to print. Okay? You go back in the charts and look on smaller time frames. The blue vector, this needs to become a green vector candle by the end of the day. It can't be a blue. It can't finish on the blue because it means that volume is above average, which means that the transactions, the ticks, the changes in price have been above average, right? When you see blue vectors at the highs, could also imply that volume is slowing down. You need it to be a green vector. We need more trading activity. We need more people to step in and buy BTC. But the 5 and 13 EMA are expanding away from the moving average. Historically, you can see each time it expands away from it, it comes back into it. But now you're getting a good expansion away from the mean. And a very strong one at that. It's very climatic. There's no wick. What's it doing? Look, 87, 177. Look at the 50-minute time frame. It's just going. It's just going for it. They're not stopping with this asset. People are rushing right now to buy Bitcoin. That's what's fueling this move. And as you see it rising, you're going to have to start marking off key areas, and you're probably all going to be getting challenged about your positions. Should you hold on to it? Yes or no? The best practice for you all, for holders or even for day traders, is to monitor how the blocks present themselves. Mark off the blue vector candle blocks, mark off the green. This is a perfect block because this historically tells you what the market did at that point. And if price comes back to that point, then you trade the logic of what that candlestick was suggesting, which means that the guys that be buying as price comes down, we know that's the case. We've got bids coming in. Look, bids. Where are you? Bids. No bids. Nothing's there. Okay. The market needs to generate interest. And that's where Bitcoin can actually soar aggressively, because then they're going to end up seeing price trapping traders, and they will sell, and there will be an exhaustion of selling by the sellers where they're going to want to start buying it again. Look at these clusters. These are people that want to sell, and retail will continuously keep on buying until they can't. When I say they can't, it means that price goes up. And if there's no sellers there willing to take, they'll get their orders filled, but it will be very small amounts, and price will aggressively come back down to force those people in certain positions to get liquidated. What have you got here? What's this guy's name? Bro, you changed your name to Tino is so hot. What a guy. Thank you. Damn. All right, fine. I'll look at Ada. Please, bro, man, don't remind me of it. I'm not a hater, bro, but surely that doesn't wind you up, man. Bitcoin 90% of the time is asleep, all right? And today it's up nearly 8.5%. Brother, why are you playing with this coin? Seriously. Ada's had such great news about it in the past. What has it done? But don't get it twisted. When Ada moves, she moves. Like, it's like XRP. I mean, let's be honest. And by the principle of the altcoins, is Ada getting ready to make a move? I see what you guys are doing, because Ada likes to do things historically. Look at this. The last time Bitcoin makes its move, well, Ada makes its move to the upside, Bitcoin consolidates. Sorry, Bitcoin makes a move, Ada consolidates, off she goes. Bitcoin makes a move to the upside, Ada consolidates. I'm only looking at the vectors to the left, and I can see that Ada's going to try and clear out that 65 cents. Maybe come back to the 68. Maybe. Are you happy now? Don't worry, I'm there with you, my bro, with XRP. Look at his nut job just for giggles. Yeah, all right. Okay. I mean, it's a good price. For me, it's a great price. Cool. I don't bloody believe it. No, it's not a good price. I'm sick of it. Forget it. I'm not interested. It's stupid. Anyways, I don't want to get my blood pressure up. Don't wind me up. Solana, yes. Let's have a look at Solana. Here we go. Solana 219. Solana is so close to its all-time high. Very close. And again, like I said to you, listen, guys, I can't stress it to you. There's nothing in crypto right now creating this thing. All right. This is Trump. This is macros. This is everyone dismissing what's actually brewing. Like, all you guys in crypto, you're not paying attention to what's going on in the bonds market. The volatility index is busted. It's broke. Something's brewing, man. None of you would have a care in the world about the fact that the stock market is just at significant highs. This is too much value. It needs to be clawed back. All of it needs to be clawed back. Market expansion, contraction. Please just make sure you're preparing yourselves for the event, the low probability event. As I said, that's when you will see Bitcoin shine, because then that would be the culture shift for Bitcoin because it's going to happen. It has to happen. It has to happen. When people come away from the idea of fiat, that's when everyone wets the bed. And that's when Bitcoin will climb by the quantile model. I'm not breaking your feelings, man. Chill out. The donation request. Donation request. Where's the request? Oh, sorry. Dixie Analysis was up for 2 months with SPY in 2016. You want Dixie Analysis? Listen, when you're trading, see, like I said, right? You've got two things happening right now, okay? The appreciation of the US dollar is now at 5.18%, okay? What's Bitcoin doing? Climbing up. What are you getting more of? You're getting more Bitcoin on the back of the strong dollar, okay? Now, the problem that we've got is we are waiting for our boys in Japan to do something. So expect the dollar to spike. Why? Because we are heading into intervention regions. So here are the interventions. Okay. Well, wait. Here we go. These are the interventions. It helps you to understand this because if Japan steps in and intervenes, it doesn't help them to have such a weak yen, and it also doesn't help them to have such a strong dollar. Okay, but it does because their yields they're just earning yield after yield after yield on the back of the bonds that they hold from the US. What we've got to be careful of is this. If they have to intervene, there's going to be another interest rate increase, in my opinion. They're going to have to. They've got to. And if we get another intervention, what happened at the last intervention? When was the last intervention? Okay. April 2024, they intervened. What happened in August? They increased the interest rates. What happened to the markets? We get another intervention from the Bank of Japan. That's going to then pull everyone from the carry trade. And at the time, 3-4 weeks after, no, sorry, I think it was in September, right? No, it's September, yeah. Said that the carry trade value was around 4 trillion. What is it now? This thing has come all the way back down. I expect the yen to end up at this point before they decide to do the intervention. And then naturally what will happen after that will be the interest rate increase. And then that's when the dollar's going to take a shoe bag. The yen's going to fly up. Euro's going to shoot up. Gold's going to do something interesting. I think gold will actually keep climbing up as a safe haven. But the bonds market will climb aggressively. And if the stock market drops and Bitcoin drops, there ain't no cultural change in Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is just standard. It will just as be as good as Nvidia, and that's the truth. We need Bitcoin to experience we need a black swan event in Bitcoin, not because of Bitcoin. The black swan event has to occur. There has to be a contraction that happens in the marketplace to make everyone wet the bed and think Bitcoin is the safe haven. We don't get that. I think we are getting it very, very soon. This bad boy right here. I'm going to say it again. When the spreads are tight, complacency is present. Non-banks have no obligation to keep providing liquidity. Courtesy of Mike Investing. If this is going to be coming into play, ciao, ciao. The dollar dominance will take a smack. And that's what's going on right now. Dollar climbing, appreciation on the dollar, 5%. You're getting more value for your dollar. That's what's fueling these moves to the upside. That's what's fueling Bitcoin, because fundamentally when Bitcoin goes down, dollar goes up. When dollar goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Now you've got dollar going up, Bitcoin going up. What's going on? It's where you start paying attention to the yields. And if the yields start to invert, where the 2-year yield earns more than the 10-year, something is changing. And that's where you get your recession story. And then that's when the market takes a shoe bag to the downside. And that's when Bitcoin becomes cheaper again. And all the guys that have been buying Bitcoin at these current price points right here, I don't think you should be buying Bitcoin. I think you should be trading it. Trade it. Don't buy it. Trade the Bitcoin. Don't buy it. If you exploit it, happy days. because you are buying Bitcoin at a very interesting extreme. And if you're buying Bitcoin now and then it hits 100K and then drops, you're going to be like, oh, and then Bitcoin could continue all the way back down to 65. And you'd be like, damn, no, I don't like that. Yeah. So just please take that into consideration. Bernstein Research said that you should invest in Bitcoin ASAP. Wait a second. What did they say? Welcome to the Bernstein. Yeah, Bernstein recommends quick crypto investment. Here we go. There you are. Look at this. Bernstein recommends quick crypto investment post-Trump win, predicts 200K Bitcoin by 2025. Do you know what? I think that is such a reckless thing. I really, honestly, I think that. You know, telling people it's 200K. We know how the world works. There's always someone that knows. Quickly invest in it so it can go to 200K so that we can sell it. Yeah, look. This guy here, he wants to sell his Bitcoin, 95. Who's selling at 100K? 20 million at 100K on the nose? What about beyond that? 33 million at 104,000. 110. 1.53 million. That's some chump change. 22 million at 118. 33 million at 120. Got a big order here. 12 million-ish. So there will always be people setting price points, but that's 130 Bitcoin. After that, it's starting to get a little bit scarce. All these guys have made all this money. They're going to be abusing and violating Bitcoin. They ain't going to finish at Bitcoin when it hits 100K. No, they won't. The best way for you to see it, guys, is to not trade Bitcoin on hype. Trade Bitcoin based on what you see. All right? That's my strongest advice for you all, ladies and gentlemen. And my recommendation is, please make sure. All right, everyone's going to come out with the price projection. Listen, let's be honest, guys. When someone says Bitcoin to 400K, be realistic, man. You've got a better chance of Bitcoin getting to 80, 100K, right? From now. 80 from 100K now. So it's $15,000 move. That's all we need Bitcoin to do. Okay. You're at 86, you're at $87,000. There's a greater chance of Bitcoin hitting 100K, right? Fam, 400K. Kathy, clean the shades, man. Why are you telling people that now? When Bitcoin's about to clear 90 nearly. You're creating this thing about, you're alerting people, you're scaring people, you're making people dismiss the idea that from this price point, Bitcoin can slump back down to 60. But it's only a prediction. Be responsible, man. You'll never hear me saying wild price projections of Bitcoin. I gave out one price projection on Bitcoin recently. That was when it was at 62. I wanted 80K by the election or by the FOMC. And then, of course, you had the election shortly after. All right. All right. We hit it. Didn't hit it in time, but we hit the 80K. Happy days. All right. You didn't hear me saying $190,000 Bitcoin or 200K Bitcoin by 2025. You obscured thing. 200K Bitcoin. Look, I'm for it. But if you're not satisfied with the move from 80,000 to 100,000 and you're not making money on Bitcoin moving 20 grand, sorry, bro, get out of this game of investing. There's no point. There really isn't any point in you even bothering investing if you're not satisfied with the Bitcoin move. You're going to buy one Bitcoin. For you to double your money, it needs to be around 160K. All right, then. Well, if Kathy said it's going to go to 400, I get 2x, 3x on my... Oh, that is just hopeful thinking, man. Not for me. You're either in this game to make money when it's presented so that you then don't spend as much time being in risk. So you can put down a little bit more risk and then capitalize on any movement. I'm not here to listen, guys. I'm not here to just spoil anything. All right. Be responsible. Pay yourselves because it's moved up and it will come back down. How much will it come back down? Who knows? And that's the beauty of uncertainty, ladies and gentlemen. Your job is to understand what happens next with nothing but what has happened. And that's why you've got to act with the now. In my opinion, the only way you can succeed at trading is to not care about what it could do, what it may do, what you want it to do. But you have to just base your decisions on what it's saying to you now. All right. Going into Asia this evening, ladies and gentlemen, the bonds markets will reopen. The banks will be going up and they'll be get up and running again. Mad love to all my veterans again. It's been your day today. Enjoy time with your families. And you guys should also enjoy time with your family because tonight, Asia's going to pull some very interesting behavior. All right. So take some profits as and when. Be nice to yourselves. Pay yourselves. All right. And I'll be tuning into you amazing people tomorrow morning. All right. Mad love to you all. Take care. Like on the way out. I ain't going to be blinking anymore. And I'll be speaking. This guy with his long ass outros. You get the idea. All right. Peace. My days.